Okay, so here's my figure collection number 2. A lot of these are protected within like bags and stuff stacked on top. So if you see me shuffling around, it's because I'm moving them to grab a figure. I understand that's going to be competitive and a bit of annoying. I get it. But it happens. So this is figure collection number 2. The only ones I'm not going to go through are my lightsabers. Just because I think we all know what lightsabers look like. Yeah, I don't really want to go through them. I just don't. So, the first one that I just uncovered, I found at a thrift store. And I'm glad I got this. This is original. Especially for the price that I got it for. And you gotta think how much these go for, online. And probably gonna get expensive, especially with the updated ones of this. Are you guys ready? Especially for the new movie that's coming out for this individual. Are you sure you guys are ready? I don't think you guys are. Because this is almost a 50-year-old figure. You sure? Alright. An original Michael Jackson doll. That's right. This is for the American Music Awards outfit. Right there. Man. I'm glad I got that. I know they got like the newer figures out for like Michael, but they're like very, very expensive. From the Beat It one, Thriller, Bad, and Smooth Criminal one is one they got. But those ones are like super, super expensive. Here, we got a Star Wars figure, right? And here's Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think this one is from mainly episode 3, I do believe. Right there. I used to have old Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi figure back in the day. Grab this figure. This one, I forgot where I found this one at. I'm glad I got it. It was like the only one. And this one did end up going up in price. And this is the Obi-Wan Kenobi figure from the Obi-Wan Disney Plus series. I'm glad they don't come with those microchip stands like the old ones did back in the 90s. Old ones with those stands made no sense at all until you get like the communicator thing for it, and it just was like, nah, Go ahead and get a bit more of this uncovered here. So just give me a minute. This one right here, which is very expensive even now. It is. And it's this 2015 Jane Lee Batman comic sketch figure right there, which is supposed to be like a Comic-Con exclusive at the time. Everything, you open it up, magnet and everything right there. And coming pretty good, pretty decrepit a little bit there in the back. Stuff like that. One that I had to fix on dime too. It's still really good. It comes with like a sketch, magnetized. Still really awesome. They had a Superman one, but I don't think that one was as popular when that one came out. These three are a set, and I think I got 2 more in here, I believe. And these are like these statue pop vinyls, so to speak, from TLC. And I got a Tupac Biggie one. It sucks that these type of Funkos did not continue, unfortunately. And these were actually really cool, right? And it would have been great if they would have continued that, because I would have gotten like, let's say if they would have came out to Easy, I would have got Easy, and say like 50 Cent one, I would have got them. I would have gotten them. Here's two set wrestling figures I got for Christmas one year. So, yeah, there's those right there. And this is the only Iron Man figure I got. Yeah, it's the only one. I like Iron Man, it's just I don't like none of the figures. I don't know why. To me, the figures kind of look funky. Maybe it's just me, but they look funky. You know? Okay, guys, ready for this? You guys want to see something cool? Boom, here's this Michael Jackson doll one right there from Grammy Awards as well. So, got a good one for that one. What a price as well. And I bought this that goes along with it. So you got the Thriller outfit and packaging. Right? And they got this one too, the Beat It one. Right there. So I had to get the two iconic ones. Yeah, the back, I like that shows like the Billie Jean one. Now they had to redo most of them, copyright reasons, like the Billie Jean one you could say from the music video. Then they got the Motown one, which is not the right one. But you gotta understand, even now with like figures and stuff, like they have to change certain things because of copyright reasons, right? Licensing, I guess you can say. Here's probably the last Star Wars figure that I do own. This character doesn't get a lot of love, unfortunately. I loved the character. I liked the character. The actors went through a hard time ever since the show did become released for no reason. And you know, even actors go through hatred, you know, from viewers, from so-called fans, right? And it's going to be Reva from the Obi-Wan series, and I really wanted them to do a figure of her, and I'm glad they did, and I loved it, and I like the series. I hope. It sucks that we're probably not going to get a season 2. I wish we did, because her story is left open. And here's two more, the last of these entertainer pop final things, Tupac and Biggie. Because I wish I would have continued these. I would have loved to have gotten, like I said, maybe Eazy-E one and a 50 Cent one. Now here's one I got for like really cheap at an old junk store that's not around. And this is a very original from the time of 97 in packaging. A little bit rough, but it's there, and it's still factory sealed, and it's a X-Men Storm doll. Comes with a comic inside as well. Everything. And with certain prices and everything with details, or something like that as well. So there's that. So I thought that was cool. And I used to have quite a bit of X-Men, I think, at one time as well, like I said, when it came to the cartoons, I believe. I know at Walmart yesterday, and I wish I had money for it, they had the Hugh Jackman's Wolverine from the Deadpool Wolverine movie, and they had Wesley Snipes' Blade, and they had Cowboy Pool too. but they didn't have price tags on them, and that's something that a lot of these chain stores are doing. They're removing prices off of stuff, so when you go up there, you're paying a surprise price. So you got to imagine a beloved characters, a really awesome movie. You're probably going to be spending $30 a piece, which is 30 plus 30. I know it's 60 plus another 30s around. I think close to around $80, give or take. So you're looking at like $100 bill for those. Yeah. Again, it's that thing, you know, if you're willing to want to spend that. As a collector, if I had the money, I actually would. I just don't care for the whole surprise price thing. I don't agree with that. Just like I talked about in yesterday's video, you know, I love vintage stuff. But if it's not in packaging, or if it like let's say if it's not in packaging, but you have everything like I said, and if it's in good condition, I don't think you should be charging retail store price. I just don't agree with it. You know, it's like, let's say, you know, this is like 30 years old, right? I paid no more than exactly $10 for this. Let's say if this was at a flea market, right? Or, you know, stuff like at a flea market at a vendor's booth, right? And it's in this condition. Would you pay resale store price? No. I know I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't. So I know you guys wouldn't either. Even if it was out of package, but it had everything, would you still pay that retail store price? Mm-mm. That's what, you know, again, the guy had some great, awesome stuff, but you're not making any money charging people retail store prices, man. Just because the price of living inflation went up doesn't mean your products need to go up. You can make more money with cheaper prices. People think, man, if I charge more money, I'm going to make more money. No, I'm actually, as a matter of fact, you make less money doing that, and you lose money compared to when you charge for cheap. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to make more money cheaper than you are asking a higher price. And that's one thing within the type of market of collecting, even if like you're a video game store, right, with figures and games, you're going to have a really good month, you're going to have a really bad month, and some things are just going to be slow in between. Some markets are a bit slower than others. Some things die out quicker than others. Some things may pick back up. For example, right now, Pokemon has been around for 30 years. You know, withstood the test of time in the trading card market, and it was never a trading card show. It wasn't. Now, I grew up on the first generation of Pokemon, and then that was it. From that, it went to Yu-Gi-Oh! Unfortunately, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was nothing more than just a card game, just like the show, and it couldn't last long. Even though it's been around for 25 years, unfortunately, it died out so bad that the value of them cards are no longer worth anything because Pokemon outbeated that. So if I were to collect cards, right, that are trying to make that's way into it, like it's in the market and wants to see how long it can last, then for me it would be Digimon and Dragon Ball. And I have a few Dragon Ball cards. And they just started putting out Digimon. The thing is, the Digimon pack that I seen goes back from 2018, if I remember correctly, on the package that Walmart just put out. What, 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26. 7 years later. Going back to what I'm talking about, my Walmart doesn't seem to put out things like they should until some years later. But I will always love Yu-Gi-Oh! To me, even though the market for it crashed so bad. You can bring your valuables card and it's not going to be worth nothing right now. Doesn't mean you should get rid of it, because that market for Yu-Gi-Oh! Can go back up. You know, it can. But You know, it just goes into that whole thing. You know, are you going to be wanting to pay, you know, retail prices? And you know, when you're in that market with figures, you have to know how to price. You don't need to be charging retail store prices, and that's the problem with so many figure sellers, not collectors, sellers. They cannot move their product because of what you're asking. You are not a retail store dude. You're not. Moving on, we have another Bret Hart figure right there. I got several of them right there. Bret Hart, along with so many other wrestlers, have always been loved within the family. Let me see here. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna move these right here. See here, if I remember, let me get this big one out the way here. Okay. So I got some Hot Wheels cars in here in packaging. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I'm really going to show a lot of those ones though. So I'm just going to kind of leave those as is. Focus on the figures though. Specifically is what I want to do. Because I don't want to take up so much time. So it's like the Hot Wheels cars, which is not a lot. It's like some color changing ones, Batman. I'm just going to like leave. And of course my lightsabers. I just want to kind of focus on like figures, I guess. Yeah. Now this I had to get 5 years ago. In Walmart, getting a few things, right? I seen it. It was the only one at the bottom of the shelf. People were passing it up. Now granted, I think today's young people may have never seen this in particular movie for this figure. If they're missing out, if they hadn't, those who are now parents, you know, may have saw it, got nostalgia for it, but did not want to pay the price for it. I said, you know what? I'm going to get it because it's going to be their loss, but my gain, my win, right? Even now, this figure's expensive and still going up because it's tied to a very beloved Christmas movie. Turbo Man. Walmart exclusive Turbo Man. I had to get this. I said to myself, I had to get this one because Jingle All the Way, Turbo Man, the whole thing just to get a Turbo Man doll. Turbo Man, Billy, Turbo Man. Oh man, it's just you gotta think about it. He like real life, he got a Turbo Man doll. The fights that would break out. I wish they would do the other characters, but they never did. Unfortunately, and I would actually get the other characters if they did. So Turbo Man, I got an actual Turbo Man doll. A real Turbo Man. Oh god. It was the only one. It was the only one. And I would never sell this. I wouldn't. For me, that the price would have to be right? But I just wouldn't sell it. And what would be my price, right? You have to offer me a little bit over $100. I'm not even bullshitting. Anything less, I'm not going to take it. I'm just not going to take it. This is an old, beat-it up figure package I did not take care of. Starting to fall apart. And it's a Batman figure, Two-Face from the 2000s. Right there. This is like my only horror figure, and it took me so long to really get this figure. But when these came out, Books A Millions was charging. Oh my god! You're looking at $100 for like one horror figure from them. Not everybody bought them because not everybody's going to spend that money like that. I got this at Walmart about 3 years back, give or take. Thing is, this was a bootleg figure, come to find out. And that's okay. And I love bootleg stuff. And I'm going to show you guys. I just hope Facebook doesn't have a cow. You guys ready though? It's one of my most favorite horror icons ever. That's right, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw. Come on, man. And this was at Walmart, and I bought it from them, right? And one thing about Walmart, even now, like back then, they do get a tendency of actually getting bootlegs within their shipments. I don't think they know, and if they know, I don't think they care. Because there were Pokemon figures from the first generation ones that Walmart would sell that wouldn't even be the legit licensed figures. They would actually be bootlegs. They really would be bootlegs. Crazy to find that out, right? And me, I love bootleg stuff. There is a market out there for stuff that's bootlegged. There really is a market for bootleg stuff. And you would be surprised. There are more valuable bootleg figures than there are of licensed brand figures. That's just how it goes. That's just I kid you guys not, man. I can't state that enough. Right? Cannot state that enough. But that's about it here for part 2 of my figure collection video. 3 will be coming tomorrow. And 3 is going to be a good one. 3 is going to be a very specialized one, too. As well. So with that being said, you guys, hey, I'm out, peace, and now I got the liberty, or the enjoyment, putting all this back.